Hello, this is William Ayers again, and this is May 23rd, 2013, and we're going to continue discussing our verses of the Antichrist and Mark of the Beast, Part 4, 5, and 6. Okay, now we are ready to go and begin. Okay, first of all, we did preach a little bit some last week, couple nights ago, about the Antichrist and the Mark of the Beast in the book of Revelations, chapter 13. Now, I'm going to read to you again Revelation 13, 1 through 8. Now, we all know that this is the beginning of the end of the Antichrist and of the Mark of the Beast. But now, let's begin and start this over. Revelation chapter 13, verse 1. And I stood on the side of the sea, and I saw the beast rising out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns. And on his horns was 10 crowns, and on his head was blasphemous name. Now, this is the mark of the beast, the first beast. Okay? This is the first. The mark of the beast is this very first one. Is part of is the Antichrist as well. Now verse 2 says, Now the beast which I saw was like a leopard, his feet was like the feet of a bear, and his mouth was like the mouth of a lion. The dragon gave him his power, his throne, and great authority. And I saw on one head, and as it had been mortally wounded, and his deadly wound was healed. And all world marveled and followed this beast. So they worshipped the dragon who gave authority to the beast, and they worshipped the beast, saying, Who is like the beast, who is able to make war with him? We'll stop there for a minute. With him. Now the dragon, the red dragon, is part of the scripture too, and we'll get on later on with that scriptures, later on with those verses of that descriptions of the dragon. My point authority theory is this. The first beast represents the Antichrist. The second beast represents Satan. Okay? And then later on, there's the dragon is going to give the second beast his powers. What the dragon will be, the red dragon is also Satan. So it's Satan versus Satan, really, I guess. In verse 4 it says, so they worshipped the dragon who gave authority to the beast. Okay, the dragon apparently in verse 4 must be Satan. The red dragon must be Satan. He's got to be. And the beast, and let me tell you something, there's going to be more than one Antichrist. I'm going to explain that in the scriptures. The Antichrist is supposed to be a human being and more than one. Now the beast will be inside this man or this woman, and Satan will be inside the beast. So you're gonna have Satan, the beast, and then a human being. Now both of them gonna make war with the humans. All right, they're gonna make war. They're also gonna make war with God. And in verse 12 talks about in Revelation 12 it talks about a woman giving child giving birth to child who's supposed to be who is also known as the Christ. And this red dragon is the minute that the child is born, that the red dragon, which is also known as the devil. Okay. Revelation 12 says, Now a great sign appeared in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun, with the moon under her feet, and on her head a garland of 12 stars. Then being with child, she cried out in labor and pain to give birth. And another sign appeared in heaven, behold, a great fiery red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and 7 diadems on his head. His tail drew a third of the stars of heaven and threw them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman who was ready to give birth to devour her child as soon as it was born. She bore a male child who was to rule all nations, which is also known as Jesus Christ. And so she bore a child who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron, and her child was caught up to God in his throne. Then the woman fled into the wilderness where she had been placed, prepared by God, that they should feed her there 1,260 days. Now this is talking about Satan. This is talking about the devil. Verse 7 says, and war broke out into heaven. Michael and his angels fought with the dragon and his angels fought. So the dragon that we're talking about that's in part 13 is Satan. Okay? He is Satan. This red dragon that they call that begin in verse 12 and continuing in verse chapter 13 is making war. Pretty scripture, isn't it? So in chapter 12, verse 7 says, and war broke out in the heavens. Michael and his angels fought with this dragon, and the dragon and his angels fought. But they did not prevail, nor was a place found for them in heaven any longer. So the great dragon was cast out, the serpent of an old called the devil and Satan, who deceives the whole world. He was cast out to the earth, and his angels was cast out with him. Does that make any sense? And also, so let's talk more about this red dragon. Like I told you, the red dragon is Satan, the devil. Okay? So the beast must be part of the antichrist. Because apparently the devil gave control and power to the beast. And the beast must be the antichrist. It's funny, isn't it? I had to do some searching on it today, and it came to a conclusion like in verse. When I was preaching the other night about this, I didn't really give all the scriptures out, but I came close to them today, and I actually found them. Verse 10 of chapter 12 of Revelation says, Then I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, Now salvation and strength and the kingdom of our God and the power of his Christ have come. For the accuser of our brethren who accused them before our God day and night has been cast down. Here we are again, talking about Satan, talking about the devil. Verse 11 says, And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb. By the blood of the Lamb is a sign of Jesus Christ, who's pure, who's good, who's gentle. And by the words of their testimony, they did not love their lives to the death. Therefore, rejoice, O heavens, and you who dwell in them. Woe to the habitations of the earth and the sea, for the devil has come down to you, having great wrath, because he knows that he has a short time. Hmm. How much time does the devil have exactly, I wonder? It's funny, isn't it? We'll begin this in just a few more seconds.